this game ends up going the distance here, simply because... Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Cactus Valley, a ladder edition. We're spawning in the top left position as the red Terran player representing Team Liquid.net and the current holder of the hot seat. Ladies and gents, it is Liquid Bunny. His opponent spawns in the bottom right position, representing Imaginary Gaming. And he has come fresh off a semi-final finish in Blizzard's World Championship Series 2015. But he's got a mountain to climb yet. It is the best of 9 after all. Can he do it? It's Imaginary Gaming's Welmu. Well, massive map here, guys. As you can see, we're going to zoom out and just spot just the sheer amount available. By the way, note, no Reapers can get up here. Apparently Reapers and spiky objects do not mix, and therefore they will not wade through those cacti. But there's not actually that much cliff space to get up into the main base. There is that bit and this tiny bit here, and that's kind of it, which means a Mothership Core can kind of hang around here, and a Reaper would have to go all the way around. So a little bit difficult, but not impossible, of course. And there is the horizontal spawn location. So these players are going to find out, after they scout, that they are, of course, in completely diagonally opposite locations. And once again, we have the barracks into gas coming over from Buddy. It's no longer a surprise, of course, to anyone who watches the hot seat or a lot of Buddy game in general. And he will be scouting the top right first in a clockwise pattern. Welmu, in the meantime, he's going to be finishing off the gateway. And once again, doing a bit of SimCity with the Cybernetics Core. I mean, he's killed off quite a lot of Reapers in this series already. Why not keep going with it? Alrighty then. So this SCV will be able to spot that Welmu's not in the top right. And we'll quite shortly go down to the bottom right and see that they've gone cross spawns. Very, very large map. I feel like Welmu's going to be relatively happy with the way this is turning out as well, because it just takes Bunny a long time with his aggression. And if it takes a long time to get across the map, that usually means one of two things, because you're going to be hitting later. It means either you need to be really, really clever and really aggressive with your harassment, or you just need to commit with big attacks much, much harder, because your opponent has more time to muster up a defense. So Welmu is going to feel like it's slightly easier to defend as long as he's able just to keep an eye on what's going on. Bunny actually with the Reaper scouting the bottom left as well, so now knows that his opponent is in the cross spawn position. The Reaper just misses this probe, which means that Welmu is going to be able to continue to scout. And we'll see whether he goes to the top left or top right. But the Reaper is going to be coming out now. It will be able to pass by the Nexus. The Nexus doesn't quite see the Reaper, but this pile on this Mothership Core does. And that's what we were talking about. The Mothership Core seeming in just a very, very good position to deny the Reaper very early on indeed. And the pylon will actually see where he's gone as well. So the Mothership Core there just doing an excellent job, continuing to zone it out. And this Reaper just isn't going to be able to find any way into the main base as long as Welmu stays active with that Mothership Core. Ooh, probe actually slipping by. Controversial here. And, well, it does get targeted now. Oh, I wonder if he should have just stayed inside the main base there. But we'll be able to see that the reactor is down on the barracks. And we have a shift up in strategy, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like it's going to be going on to the factory here. So last times we've seen that, we've seen the factory. We've seen the starport. We have seen tech labs on both. We've seen the siege tanks come out. And we've seen the Raven. Well, guess what? We have reactored Hellions coming out this time around from Bunny. And we'll see what he ends up doing in the near future off the back of this. Immediately starting stim. And by the way, this isn't a starport. It's another barracks, ladies and gents. So it looks like he's just really trying to ramp up his production as quickly as possible. And do that in basically denying tech in the meantime. He hasn't got the starport up. He's not going to want that medevac support immediately. He just wants the units out in the front of his base. And I wonder if what he has planned is going to catch Welmu off guard here. These Hellions, well, they're pretty glorified, expensive scouts. But at the moment, they're glorified, expensive scouts that if it killed at least one worker, might be able to kill a second. No, won't be able to kill a second. That's 2 workers killed, but bear in mind, I think there was another probe at some point early on in that game. So, for 2 Hellions, in my opinion, not particularly worth it. And we are going to be going into Widow Mine production at the moment. Another barracks, by the way, so still no starport coming out from Bunny. Being very, very aggressive with the number of units he's building early on in this game. So we'll see if Welmu is able to recognize that. We have a single forge and a robotics facility down inside the main base now, by the way. The Twilight Council already is researching Blink. We can see it's up here. Very, very nice, by the way, to position the buildings like this, trying to stop a single scan from seeing everything. Absolutely approve of this, just trying to make life as difficult as possible for our Team Liquid Terran player. And, well, here comes the gateway explosion. And, guys, this time it is off a single forge in the robotics bay. So, Welmu potentially looking to be a little bit more aggressive at... just generally invest a bit more in units this time around. We also have a third command center coming down for Buddy. I'd say earlier that we've seen it in the previous couple of games as well. So both players may be taking a macro-centric approach. Welmu, of course, can still just take a third base off the back of this. Just because he hasn't gone a second forge doesn't mean he is about to go all in or something like that. Well, actually, now that I talk about that, going this many gateways might, though. Because we have 5 gateways in production now. I think he still has the option of just using this to defend the third base. The question is, which third does he choose to take? I wonder if it's going to be this one on the left-hand side, or whether it's here. But there really isn't that much cover you can provide from the high ground. So a bit of a decision for him to make there. Colossi are now on their way. He could poke with the first Colossus. He could, again, he could go for an attack. He's going up to 6 gateways in total, I want to say. So 3 done and 3 on their way. But I get the feeling he's just going to defend a little bit for now. Because 1 Colossus might not win you the game if the distance to travel is so large. And oh, okay. Well, would you look at that. Nexus and Pylon down here. And you can see, by the way, we are also hiding a Dark Shrine in the meantime. Being very, very sneaky here over on this bottom left. Bunny, with this Marine, staring at the mineral patch, staring at this hypnotic trance of magic eye, by the looks of things, that's going on there for the rest of the game. Welmu, meanwhile, will be able to spot a small contingent of Marines and Marauders moving out in the middle of the map. Tries to kill off a Marine at the expense of a Blink, not able to do so, and the medevac will be able to use its energy to heal that instead. Still only the 1 Colossus down, but the Dark Shrine is nearing completion, and that's really going to be potentially the damage dealer here. Now that, I think, is the closest pylon that Welmu has right now, so, you know, not the closest pylon in the world. But, neither player willing to commit that much into a military engagement just yet. Worker supplies, guys, at this stage of the game, we've just hit the 11-minute mark, and we are at 56 to 53 in favor of our Terran player, Bunny, who has actually gone ahead and landed his 3rd command center now. So, a relatively passive game compared to what we've seen before. Welmu, in the meantime, he's saturating his 3rd as well, and generally feeling like there's no problem there. He's also got an observer out with that army poked around. And Bunny, well, maybe trying to pick off a 3rd base here, but unfortunately not finding it because Welmu has expanded, of course, to this southern location instead. The scan will reveal that. So Bunny perhaps reformulating a plan, giving Welmu a little more time to get a few units out. And 3rd Colossus is on the way now as well, in addition to 2 extra gateways. Forge now going for +1 attack after the +1 armor. And note the upgrades are equal this time around, guys. Ooh, and we've loaded up into a drop, except for Billy, who failed the test that required him to climb a ladder into the medevac. And unfortunately, he is not going to be part of this attack, so we move with 4 medevacs worth of units into the main base. This is looking very serious now. Will it do substantial damage? If it does substantial damage, it kills off an awful lot of the army supply here. This could be massive, massive trouble. Great time warp, but the Nexus gets sniped. Good blink forward. Is he able to capitalize by killing us on the medevacs? No! Really, really nice there from Bunny. Kill the Nexus. Get out. In the meantime, we have Dark Templars moving inside the main base. And Welmu, unfortunately, all this time has just been continuously killing SCVs. He's not able to get a turret up inside the natural expansion right now. And 36 workers have been killed. This is actually insane. 2 scans go down as well. And you know what? Even with this damage being done by the drop, I say that, the drop's getting cleaned up right here. 1 Colossus survives with a minuscule amount of health. Only 5 hit points left. But look at what's happening to the rest of the army. Bunny is in all sorts of trouble. The moment he loaded that up, that's when we started seeing a lot of SCVs going down inside his main base, inside his natural expansion, and he's close to 40 workers killed this game now, 36 versus 4, and Welmu is sitting pretty. He is at 56 probes versus 27 workers, and I'll tell you what, after going 2-0 up, I bet not that many people were going to say, well, Welmu will just go up 3-2 in this series from here. At the moment, it looks like that might happen, because if this counterattack is a single Marauder, I'm going to be honest, I'm not that impressed yet. This is a tricky situation for Bunny to be in, I'm not going to lie. Definitely possible to win from here, but Welmu doing a great job of scouting everything that's going on. He has a larger army supply now as well, 83 to 44. He leads 140 supply to 80. That hidden Dark Shrine paying massive dividends in both the main and natural expansions as Bunny loaded up his army into 4 medevacs and tried to harass inside the main base. Bunny not aware of the counter-aggression. And guys, this has been the story of this series. Every time Bunny's aggressive and Welmu is just defending or is just trying to be greedy, Welmu's lost. Every time Welmu's been aggressive instead, Welmu's won. And at the moment, Welmu hasn't won this game yet, but he looks like he might be on course to... Jesus, look how many zealots there are here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this third base is hereby served notice of an attack. What on earth could you possibly do against that? Alright, so he's kited a couple of the zealots back, but this army looks absolutely insane. He's actually going straight into the natural expansion, saying, fine, if you're not going to let me engage you at the natural, I will engage you at the third. A number of zealots crowding around SCVs while the main army battles at the natural. Good blink back there, consolidating his position, allowing the zealots to get in front. Bunny doing his best to micro for deal life here, but look at what is happening in the natural expansion in the meantime. These reinforcements all get picked off. The third base, thanks to these 2 Colossi that are doing really, really well, goes down as well. GG! And Liquid Bunny relinquishes his lead. He is going to go 3-2 down to Imaginaries Gaming's Welmu, who takes the lead in this best of 9 series for the first time in game number 5.